He asked for a glass of water. That's all it took for the flight attendant to snap, rolling her eyes, mocking his voice, and calling him entitled. Passengers stared, some filmed, others laughed. She didn't know the man she was humiliating wasn't just another traveler. He owned the airline she worked for. The quiet fury in his eyes wasn't anger, it was calculation. And when the plane landed, her entire world changed. What he did next grounded every ounce of arrogance she carried and reminded everyone that real power doesn't shout, it simply acts. The jet bridge buzzed with impatience as Kadeem Lyons boarded Flight 407. No security detail, no assistant, no first-class greeting, just a man with a boarding pass and a quiet agenda. Few knew he owned North Star Airlines, the carrier painted in bold silver letters across the fuselage outside. He was traveling undercover again, studying what training manuals never revealed, how his staff behaved when no one powerful was watching. A young attendant, Tessa Quinn, glanced up as he entered. Her practiced smile faltered when she saw the seat number, 3A. "Sir, that's business class," she said flatly. "I'm aware," Kadeem replied, handing over his boarding pass. Her eyes flicked over it. Surprising. Her tone carried the sharpness of someone testing boundaries. Passengers behind him shifted awkwardly. Kadeem didn't react. "Is there a problem?" Tessa forced a grin. "Not yet. Just don't make one." He took his seat, calm but watchful. As the boarding door closed, he rang the service button. Tessa appeared. "Yes? Could I have a glass of water, please?" She sighed audibly. "We haven't even taken off yet. You'll survive until cruising altitude." Her words drew snickers from two nearby passengers. Kadeem said nothing, just studied her face, a mixture of pride and disdain. 20 minutes later, during meal service, she handed him a tray without looking. The water glass was half full. "Careful," she muttered. "Wouldn't want another complaint, right?" He finally met her gaze. "Do you think I'm the kind of man who complains easily?" She smirked. "You look like the type who thinks the world owes him good manners." Phones came out. Passengers exchanged glances. The tension thickened like smoke. The co-lead attendant, Marcus Dane, approached. "Everything all right here?" Tessa replied before Kadeem could speak. "Just another entitled passenger testing my patience." Marcus frowned. "Sir, let's keep the aisle calm, please." Kadeem exhaled slowly. "Understood. But for the record, I've raised my voice to no one." He picked up his phone, typed a brief text, and pressed send. Within 5 minutes, the cockpit intercom lit up. The captain's voice came over. "Cabin crew, hold all service." "Remain seated," Tessa blinked. "What's happening?" Marcus checked his device. "We've been ordered to stay on ground frequency. Operations wants confirmation before taxi." "Why?" she demanded. "Executive directive," Marcus whispered. Kadeem watched the color drain from her face. Moments later, the captain stepped out, stiff and confused. "Who here contacted corporate operations?" Kadeem raised his hand slightly. "I did." "Sir, and who exactly are you?" Kadeem stood, calm but commanding. "My name is Kadeem Lyons. I founded this airline 20 years ago." The cabin went silent. Phones recorded. The captain froze mid-step. Tessa stared as if the world had tilted. "I boarded quietly," Kadeem continued, "to see if our company still lived up to the values written in our training book. Respect, empathy, patience. I got my answer before we left the gate." The captain swallowed. "Sir, He raised a hand. "No, don't explain. I've seen enough." He turned toward the passengers. "You all witnessed this. Tell me, how many of you felt comfortable with what you saw?" A woman in 4C shook her head. "It was disgusting." Another added, "She humiliated you for no reason." Kadeem nodded once. "Then I won't let this plane leave until accountability takes off first." The intercom buzzed again. Ground control confirmed the aircraft was being held. A compliance officer entered moments later, escorted by airport security. She approached Kadeem directly. "Mr. Lyons, we received your signal. How do you want to proceed?" "Begin a field review," he said. "Now." Tessa backed away. "This isn't fair. How was I supposed to know who you were?" "You weren't," Kadeem replied evenly. "That's the point. You should have treated every passenger as if they mattered." Within minutes, statements were collected, crew logs checked. The compliance officer looked up. "Per your directive, both attendants are suspended pending investigation." The captain bowed his head. "Sir, do you want to continue this flight?" Yes, Kadim said, but not with arrogance in the air. Security escorted the attendants off. The passengers clapped softly. A replacement crew boarded, visibly nervous but composed. Before sitting, Kadim addressed the cabin. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for what you experienced tonight. No passenger should ever have to prove their worth to receive respect. As of this moment, North Star Airlines is grounded, figuratively, for a complete culture overhaul. The passengers erupted in applause. Phones recorded his every word. By sunrise, the video dominated every news outlet. Undercover airline owner, humiliated by flight attendant, shuts down flight mid-taxi. Within 24 hours, the clip had over 200 million views. The company issued a statement confirming a full retraining program across all departments. Every employee, pilots, managers, and gate agents alike was required to complete a new ethics course titled Respect Before Rank. Investors feared a backlash, but the opposite happened. Ticket sales surged. Customers praised the move. Social media hailed Kadim as the CEO who grounded arrogance. When reporters finally reached him for comment, he said one line that echoed across every screen. I didn't stop a flight to punish anyone. I stopped it to remind the world that respect isn't customer service, it's character. 3 months later, the airline unveiled its new slogan, painted beneath every aircraft logo. Respect flies first. At the headquarters unveiling, surrounded by employees and press, Kadim looked out over the crowd. Titles fade, he said, but how we treat people never does. If you can't serve with dignity, you shouldn't serve at all. The room stood in silence. Outside, the first flight under the new standard lifted off. A fresh crew, a new promise, and a reminder written into the company handbook forever. Real power doesn't shout. It grounds arrogance and lets integrity fly. If you believe real power doesn't shout, it acts, then prove it. Like this video, share it everywhere, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from and what moment hit you deepest. Subscribe today and turn on notifications so you never miss stories that expose arrogance and celebrate unstoppable dignity.